What's poppin'? Welcome back to FNS Network. We here. We back flowing, back in action. You know what it is. Let's get to it now. Doc Rivers. He walked away from the Bucks. All right, man. Josh was telling me about um, him and Giannis walking off the court together, looking buddy buddy and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that clip yet. I got to go look at that clip. But look here, man. Doc Rivers kind of, he leaving in a frustrated state, you know what I'm saying? Talking about Google Meet. You hear reports about it being friction or whatever the case is. Look here, man. They should have never fired Adrian Griffin in the first place. You know what I'm saying? This is a prime example when you let the player have too much control. Because all these moves the Bucks was making was due to Giannis. You know what I mean? Why do you fire Adrian Griffin? What's the reason? Because he was being coached? Listen, newsflash, you're not going to always like the adjustments the coach make. The coach is the coach for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? The coach is the coach for a reason. All right? So, look, at the end of the day, Doc Rivers, is he one of the great coaches? He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. He had hiccups. They say he's one of the most winningest coaches. I don't really like to do the stat thing because stats don't always tell the whole story. I tell you that all the time. So, with this is, Doc, look, I like Doc. I do. You know what I'm saying? And he had some bad breaks, you know what I'm saying? Especially in Orlando. You know what I mean? When you had T-Mac, then got Grant Hill, but then Grant Hill went down, all that stuff. Doc had some hiccups, you know what I'm saying? But, there's some bad things that happened under his watch, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? So, look, Doc, he talk about Google me and all of that. Like, he said that to the players. All right? So that tells you his level of frustration. And listen, he's been frustrated because people claim he's not a good coach. I'm not going to go as far as saying he's not a good coach. I think Doc is a good coach for sure. It's evidence to show. But just like any other coach, let me say this. I don't think Doc Rivers can do what Eric Spoelstra does. As far as you give him people who can walk and chew gum and he can make something happen out of it. I don't think Doc Rivers can do that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, I just don't think he can. There are certain coaches for certain tasks, right? So therefore, Doc Rivers, you give him some stars, he can make something happen with it. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at the Clippers. You look at that situation. You know what I mean? Look, man. Look, Doc Rivers is going to be in the Hall of Fame as one of the best coaches. Is he one of the greatest of all time? I don't know. I can't say that exactly. He's not no bad coach, though. You know what I'm saying? He's just not. Would you sit him at the table with a Phil Jackson? Probably not. Would you say he's as good as Rick Carlisle? But then they're going to start bringing in stats and accolades. You know what I'm saying? I would take Rick Carlisle over Doc Rivers, personally. I would. You know what I mean? I'm taking the Spoelstra over Doc Rivers. You got to give Doc a certain type of hand. I just say that, you know what I mean? And then he could make something happen with it, like the Celtics. Everybody wouldn't have been able to coach that Celtics team. The personalities on that roster, you know what I mean? Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick Perkins and all that. You gotta give Doc credit for what he did with that Boston Celtics team, because some people think, all you gotta do is just walk in there and hold the clipboard. No, you cannot just walk in there and hold the clipboard with a team like that. You gotta know what you're doing. They gotta be able to trust you. Rajon Rondo and them, they gotta be able to trust what you're saying. You know what I mean? For them, because that can go bad quick too. So if you got a superstar team, right? The coach matters heavily, because if they don't trust the coach, that can go left fast. Just because you got a bunch of superstars, that do not mean you will win. You still need leadership and guidance and good coaching with that. They got to be able to. In a sense, it may be harder to coach that team than the young guns that soaking everything like a sponge. That's one to learn versus coach the team that's pretty much already certified Hall of Famers, know what they doing, all of that. You know what I mean? And they gonna challenge the things you say because they know what they doing. So it's like that right there. I mean, so you got to give Doc credit for that because everybody wouldn't be able to handle that squad, bro. Word up. Everybody wouldn't be able to handle that squad. Okay, so Doc is one of the better coaches. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say he's one of the greatest of all time, but I'm not gonna deny Doc Rivers coaching my team either. Especially if I didn't have no options. But there is people I would pick over Doc Rivers. But I do understand him always defending himself because it is a little unfair that they go so hard on Doc Rivers, right? But then you look at a guy like Mike D'Antoni, right? I mean, Mike D'Antoni get it a little bit, but not like Doc Rivers. Like Mike D'Antoni, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, zero defense at all. Like, you know what I mean? You're not, like, Mike D'Antoni not getting you no champion. Now, is he a good coach? Yes. But is he better than Doc? No. I would take Doc Rivers over Byron Scott, even though I like Byron Scott. I'll take Doc Rivers over Byron Scott. Like I said, like Doc Rivers is nice. You know what I'm saying? He's just not, I don't think he's, with the, he's up there with the Larry Browns and them and the Phil Jacksons. I just don't think that. You know what I mean? But he is a tier down. I say that. So Doc Rivers, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the most winningest coaches. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, he like that. It's just, he got some, just as much good as you can point out with Doc Rivers, you can point out the bad. And that's what he's defending because people tend to focus only on the bad and don't want to give him his credit, you know what I mean, for the good stuff. That's it, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like he got ran out of Milwaukee, in my opinion. That's why I feel like, but then again, Stephen A. Smith said that this was going to be his last year regardless, so maybe not. But if the team wasn't, responding well to him and respecting him and whatnot, I could see how he can get frustrated because, like, bro, I've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? I've been around this game longer than y'all, been whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and I get the frustration. I understand that because Doc Rivers, come on, man. You got to respect him. You know what I'm saying? You can't disrespect him. You got to respect him. Anybody that's been in the league as long as he has, you got to respect him. You know what I mean? Some of these young guys come in the game, and just because they good and nice, you know what I'm saying, or they don't respect, players of the past or old school coaches, like they don't know what they're talking about. That's why the game looked the way it looked now, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because these guys come in here big-headed and things like that, think they know everything. They don't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's the case with the Bucks. I'm just saying, Doc Rivers deserved more respect than that. You know what I mean? Doc Rivers deserved to be respected. He has just as much bad there is good. You know what I mean? I will not just reject Doc Rivers, you know what I mean, coaching my team. I just got to have a certain team. If I had a team full of stars, I will get Doc Rivers because I know he know what to do. He know how to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. He knows how to coach. It's just you need a certain crop of players for him to coach. Okay? Like any other it's just any other, like any coach, you need certain type of players for some. Like Spoelstra, he can do whatever. He's one of them guys, just give me guys that know how to play the game and I can make things happen with him. He's one of those kind of coaches. Tyronn Lue, I kind of look at him like that too. I put Tyronn Lue in the same breath as a Spoelstra in a sense. Not so much, he got to win a championship, like, with he won one, but he got to win one outside of Bron, right? But Tyronn shown he can coach. He's shown he can coach. He's shown that, you know what I'm saying? So I put him in the same direction as Spoelstra. Okay? I put him in that, he's walking towards that Spoelstra direction, you know what I mean? So, Doc, I can't say that. I can't say that. Doc needs certain type of talent. And there's nothing wrong with that. One hand wash the other, you know what I mean? But, Doc Rivers, is he going to coach again? I mean, if this is his last year, he didn't go out good. But, a lot of this, you know, Milwaukee is just as much to blame as much as Doc accepted the job. They shouldn't have fired A.J. Griffin in the first place. Doc Rivers could have stayed where he was at doing when he broadcasting something at the time. He could have stayed broadcasting. He didn't have to go out like this. You know, he chose to go out like this. He didn't have to go out like this. He could have stayed in the booth. You know what I mean? So this is partially Milwaukee, partially Doc Rivers. But, you know, would I be surprised if he coach again? Kind of. You know, if he's saying the things he's saying about, you know, his grandkids and all that stuff and want to live life, I don't think coaching will be the move because the travel, you know what I mean? All the work you got to do as far as coaching for game, like that's a lot of work being a coach, bro. You know what I'm saying? The travel, the constant film study, creating game plans. That's an all day, all night thing. So, you know, if Doc walks away, he's a Hall of Fame coach, 100%. It's like no question. I don't think anybody should question that. It's just people's gonna talk about losing the 3-1, all that kind of stuff, which is fair. It's fair, you know what I mean? But you gotta talk about the good too, though. Don't just focus on the bad. Talk about the good too, man. All right, so, man, big salute to Doc Rivers. You know what I mean? He's a Hall of Fame coach, but you know he didn't go out so strong. Maybe he'll come back to go out to retire on a good note. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not. It is what it is, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. Greatly appreciate it from everybody. Peace.